Okay, this video segment is going to be about, we are here on SHOEnborn Street and Topanga Canyon, and I'm going to talk about the things from childhood done to me with a person named Paul Humphry, sent after me around 14, with another person named Mike Huntley to have me eradicated, removed from society, but more importantly with the LAPD, who has a building right down the street here on SHOEnborn, which appeared around 2009 when their psychological warfare and setup operations ramped up to mass physical attacks, and the LAPD refusing to help me. The physical attacks really around 2011, but everything done to me since then worldwide, told I have to go to Topanga Division to report any crime against me, who want me dead and gone since 5 years old. I know, it doesn't make much sense, because generally government kill operations or flagging and ridding people of the world operations are fairly rare, and they generally don't make much sense. And while I'm a little not in talky mood right now and my brain's not fully clicked in, I'm going to try to hopefully get everything on video and said that needs to be said. So now I'm walking down the street where Paul Humphry off Topanga Canyon and SHOEnborn Street moved into after I came back from University of Colorado. Also just note there have been groups of people following me around today in Adidas shirts and Adidas striped clothing. Here's one. And so Paul Humphry, after I came back from college and they wanted me to, they manipulated me to move back from Southern Oregon State College. Mike Huntley, working with the police and government, wanting me to move back to California. My father wanting me to move back to California in his house for a year so he could try to get anything to use against me to remove me from society and frame me and make it look like I was doing things to his wife and girlfriends and things like this, which had always been going on since childhood. I just didn't really know it. So my father wanting to reel me back from Colorado to continue hunting me down with the police, because he had pull and is clearly paying off the LAPD to hunt down and kill his son on operations that they started at 5 years old. So right here we are on SHOEnborn Street around 2000, 1999, 2000, 2001. I'm not exactly sure. Paul Humphry moved in. I knew Paul Humphry from 14 to 29, just like Mike Huntley. 25 years of them hunting me down, trying to have me killed. Paul Humphry lived right here. He moved in right here, and what he was doing, the Topanga Division LAPD didn't exist, first of all. But what he was doing was he would move by places. I would talk to girls on IRC, either try to meet them or just be social. And Paul Humphry, and by the way, IRC consisted of IRC parties and was a very social environment like Tinder is. It was just an older text-based technology. Paul Humphry moved into this one-bedroom, tiny little shithole. And what he was doing was, if I talked to a girl on IRC, he then moves by her house and says, "Kevin, come over, let's hang out," things like that. Telling the world that I'm stalking IRC women that I've never met and things like this, right? And they worked that angle. Paul would move from place to place based on the women, based on the women that I would meet on IRC. So to give you an example, at one point, Tom or Paul, I met a girl on IRC in the California channel named Honey. This was around 2000, and then I went out on a date with her, and it didn't work out. I mean, that's how dating is. You go out on a date, you see if you mesh, and if it doesn't, it doesn't. So I go on a date with her, and then Paul Humphry magically goes out on a date with her like a month later and tells me about it, and I go, wait, I dated that girl, and it's a coincidence, but these coincidences kept happening over and over, showing that they were really about hate, rage, anger, revenge from delusional ideas of theirs, which turn out to be fabricated lies to justify killing me. And so you get the idea. He then, after they sent Jen Hess after me, he then moved out to the Torrance area saying, Kevin, come over, let's hang out, and things like this, right? So now, I don't want to stick too far with Paul Humphry. I can talk about 25 years of these types of operations with Paul Humphry and Mike Huntley alone. But the point I want to get to you is what is Paul Humphrey's motive? What angles is he working on with these psychological warfare? We're going to try to turn you into a schizophrenic and lock you away, saying you're a violent schizo and things like that. What was Paul Humphrey's motive, and what were the things he was doing? Well, okay, we are on SHOEnborn Street, and you would probably not think much about it if you have a normal life, because this is not the type of thing that happens to many people. Paul Humphry, the reason Paul Humphry chose SHOEnborn Street, just like the reason Topanga Division here, LAPD, which will be a little bit later in this video, chose SHOEnborn Street, is because they're hinting about shoes, believe it or not. Now you're asking yourself, what? What are you talking about, Kevin? Shoes. The cops actually are investing. The government's actually investing billions of dollars building buildings in 2009 on a street called SHOEnborn, hinting about shoes. What is the relevance between shoes and SHOEnborn Street? Well, that all links back to a girl named Kelly Hatch, a girl that went to Calabasas High School with me, which I never knew. I was not in the same social cliques. There was zero communication, connection, or anything else. And supposedly, according to her, and I don't know if this is true, she then, 2 years into Calabasas High, moved out to San Francisco by the Golden Gate Bridge, which actually has to do with a painting I painted when I was a young child of the Golden Gate Bridge. But I'm not going to go there. Now, I didn't know this because when I went up to Southern Oregon State College, Kelly Hatch was sent after me to follow me from from Calabasas High to Southern Oregon State College to hunt me and stalk me and have me killed or rid of the world with the police. Some of the things they were mad about me buying army boots because I liked her jungle boots, and I bought some jungle boots, which is, I'll agree, is a little weird and out there and chumpish. Hey, a 21-year-old chumpish guy. I mean, what, is that like 90% of the men out there? Okay, so anyways, a 21-year-old chumpish guy gets army boots because he likes Kelly Hatch's army boots, and 10 years later, 8 years later, I don't know, my family wants me to move back so they can hunt me down to rid me of the world, getting me close to my father and family. Remember, this starts at 5 years old. And on SHOEnborn Street, one of his many endless thousands of tactics, right? Okay, so 2009, when their attacks get really violent, physical instead of psychological 40-year mobbings, LAPD decides, and the government, to open the police station at 2009 SHOEnborn Street, shoes, hinting about Kelly Hatch. And I have tons of video of mass Jeep Cherokees and things like that that Kelly Hatch drove, parked in sequences in front of the LAPD division, hinting about Kelly Hatch as people, mass groups follow me from place to place, with also the other car tactics, and also these Jeep Cherokees in front of my house too, in mass groups, trying to force me in, thug me and torture me into false confessions that I had done something wrong to Kelly Hatch, is cover-up operations in 40-year government kill operations. Now, this guy right here that you just heard honk his alarm horn twice, that was not an accident, just like I have on so much other video. The reason they do it, and this is done by person after person worldwide, is because the government is telling them that I've committed all these crimes and they need to help hunt me and kill me. And people are actually helping hunt me and kill me, like Kelly Hatch. So if you're not understanding the situation, Kelly Hatch is contacted to hunt me down and kill me. She says yes. Jason Perlman is told as a young child to hunt me and kill me. He says yes. Tom Farley is told to hunt me and kill me. Mike Huntley is told to hunt me and kill me. They all say yes. Then I start to find out, they say you don't talk or we kill you, right? This starts at 5 years old. Now, 8341, I'm not sure if this is the exact place. It's one of these places around here, is where Paul Humphry lived. And my stabilizer is acting really weird, so it's a little non-straight. But anyways, that is on the surface of the Paul Humphry. Okay, so I don't have too much else to say. I could talk about these operations with Paul Humphry forever. I don't want to go too deep into that. I want to stick to the topic of SHOEnborn Street, Kelly Hatch, Jeep Cherokees, the amount of billions invested to have me killed for what I know. We are now going to go to Chase Street, right by here, and Chase Street consists of a house my brother and his friends, or my brother's friends, bought to send me hidden messages while trying to make me mentally ill and have me killed, with hints that he's going to pop my bladder and kill me, and things like this. And after Chase Street, I'm going to go down the street here to Topanga Division LAPD, built in 2009, or opened in 2009. Interesting that I found out I was being hunted and killed at 29. I don't think there's a relevance. But I just wanted you to see the location here of the Paul Humphry, where Paul Humphry moved to try to make it look like I was stalking women and IRC women, trying to make it look like I was trying to steal his girlfriend, and things like this that are endless. Oh, there's another thing about this location. You'll notice worldwide that everyone... You'll notice worldwide that everyone I talk to does things in patterns of threes. Well, I can't tell you what that's about, but what I can tell you is that after Paul Humphry lived here, one of their little cryptic hinted message guilts of trying to get, of course, false confessions was them wanting to go out and rent the movie 1970 Torah, which I'd never seen until like yesterday. And they went to every video store in the valley. None of them had it, or they might have had it, didn't want to give it to them. But at this location here on Topanga and Roscoe, at Topanga and Roscoe, at this location on Topanga and Roscoe at the corner here, we're coming up to a Lowe's. We're coming up to a Lowe's, which was where the video store would have been on the corner of Roscoe and Topanga here. And and this had to sort of correlate and relate to SHOEnborn Street shoes. Torah is also related to a lot of the psychological warfare tactics done to me. My last name is Perlman, Kevin Perlman. And at a young age, at 5 years old, after my father showing me the movie Wizards by Ralph Bakshi, they were telling everyone that I'm crazy and I conform to media. And that I think I'm in the movie. And that I think I'm the good wizard avatar, while my brother was pretending sort of to be evil, like Black Wolf, the evil wizard, right? The movie consists of lots of Nazi imagery and armies, mutant armies, the good and evil wizard projecting images into the sky of Nazi footage, and after that my family telling the world I'm a violent paranoid schizo and a white supremacist. Okay, you see where the Lowe's sign is here? That's where and the bank to the right, a Wells Fargo, that's where the video store was. We are on SHOEnborn and Topanga Canyon, and that's the last place they checked to get the movie, and they didn't have it, hinting about Torah, and almost every person I'm in contact worldwide hinting about threes, going yes, hey, hi, every internet-based sentence, ... things like that, all hinting about threes, Torah, World War II references. Kevin's a violent paranoid schizo who thinks he's in the movie. Wizards, hinting about my last name, Perlman, and all sorts of childhood operations to make me look crazy, like my father and brother and Darren Moselle taking me on a Caribbean cruise while feeding me as much alcohol as they could at 14, and every single drink were kamikazes and B-52s, while my brother went out, bought a Kershaw knife, and gave it to me, then telling the world I'm a violent paranoid schizo with a knife in hopes that he could get me to flip out and go after him with a knife. So when I tell you this is just one of these like hundreds of thousands of family-related setups and hundreds of thousands of worldwide setups from strangers, probably a lot higher, believe it or not, but setup after setup, trying to make me look crazy like a violent paranoid schizo, trying to get weapons on me, and working with the police, LAPD, government, worldwide, NSA, FBI, psychology community, and worldwide support to try to make me look crazy like a violent paranoid schizo that conforms to media to remove me from society. Now since 29, you don't tell anyone or we kill you, with the police and government and psychology community. Okay, so That's why people keep asking me about my last name, Perlman. They keep hinting about World War II. They keep sending people after me with using names to hint that I'm a crazy person, or try to get me to go after people using name references, like Aubrey Fisher sent after me to fish for information. Mike Huntley sent after me at 14 years old to hunt me down and have me killed with the government and my family. You name it. And then trying to turn it around on me that I'm crazy because my last name is Perlman and I conform to media and I'm a violent paranoid schizo, right? Hence, I'm showing you the references they're sending to try to flip me out and make me look crazy, also known as gang stalking. Now, most importantly, I want you to understand one thing. This isn't one crazy nut job trying to gaslight me and make me crazy that I can walk away from. This is now an entire planet full of people starting at 5 years old and growing like a forest fire based on government propaganda to have me hunted and killed, all with agendas starting at 5 years old to hunt me, flag me, hunt me, kill me on government kill operations. Okay, so now I'm going to go to Chase Street where my brother and his friends moved in, or my brother's friends moved in, and they intentionally popped a waterbed and flooded and destroyed a house, and I'll explain the situation to you as I'm there. I'm not going to the exact location, I'm just going to Chase Street because I don't remember the exact location. Okay, I am now down at Topanga Canyon and Chase Street. Now, this is not the exact location that my brother's friends moved into on Chase Street. It's been 30 years. I haven't taken the time to figure out which part of Chase Street, which goes way down this way. It goes all the way down to like Winnetka, right? And, oh.
Hey man, you're on YouTube?
Yeah, are you the same guy I just talked to?
Yeah.
Oh, here you go. Check out the website and go to the YouTube links. There's my diary entries, and then there's all the proof of the mass attacks, the physical attacks, the police death threats, people working with the police to threaten my life. You name it, it's all up there. And there's 10 terabytes of all day for years mass attacks at public locations worldwide to have me killed, known as gang stalking, and the police death threats, you don't talk or we kill you, and things like that. So check it out.
Okay, alright.
Yeah.
Okay, so where do I go to on YouTube?
Well, you can go to kevinperlmantarget.com, and then there's links to the YouTubes and the YouTube channels.
Okay.
I think in the like about or my background section.
Oh, okay. And what's your purpose, man?
To stay breathing while the cops try to kill me since 5 years old, and I think I have the right to breathe, and I think you have the right to breathe, and I think that's why we have a constitution and a judicial system to stop cops from killing people. And while the cops and my family started this murder operation, which is now worldwide, since 5 years old, I think it's something that you guys should know about, because if this is happening to someone like me, anyone else is not safe. You're not protected. You don't have the First Amendment freedom of speech. You don't have the Second Amendment right to bear arms. I have been Rodney King'd all day and night, 24/7 for 40 years. For no reason at all, with people in the psychology community and government. And think about that. If you have kids, they're not safe. You might be the best guy in the world. You might be whatever.
I know what you mean.
Yeah, or you might be an average guy. It doesn't matter. You need to be protected from corruption, and you live right by. There's a reason Topanga Division LAPD was built on SHOEnborn Street, which relates to them sending Kelly Hatch from Calabasas High when I was 16 to follow me up to Southern Oregon State in murder operations, government murder operations, and they're trying to cover that up. So think about that.
All right, man.
Yeah. Have a good one, bro. Yeah. Okay, so I got sidetracked. With that guy, like, I don't know, you're playing stupid, whatever. So on Chase Street, we're on Chase Street here. This is not the exact location. They're down. I think they were more closer to Winnetka or something. I'm going to have to figure that out, and if I figure that out, I'll amend the exact location with the house later on, but it's been so long, but I can probably figure it out. I'm pretty good at figuring these types of things out, even though it was 30 years ago. Now, okay, so we're not at the exact location, but what's more important is what happened on Chase Street and why they used Chase Street just like they're using SHOEnborn Street. Just like people are hunting me down for living on Tierra Street at 5 years old. And just like my father's real estate agent putting me on Juliana Street, hinting about me hunting down women and crazy and street signs and things, freaky things like this. Okay, so Chase Street. My brother's friends moved into a house on Chase Street. If I recall correctly, it was Andrew Adelman, maybe my brother's chef friend Cliff, I think Mike Huntley, I'm not 100% sure, and several others on Chase Street. And they bought a house. I was 16, just starting to drive. My brother and friends were out doing their road rage shit and pinning it on me, which I didn't know. I didn't know they had motive to go out and do these things and say it was me. Road rage. So they moved into this house. And what was their reasoning? Their reasoning, first their reasoning was to hint about chasing people. I don't know why, but they're big on this weird scam with the world that you chase women or they chase you, or you chase cars or they chase you. Weird things that I don't know what they're getting at. But what they're doing, they're not really getting at anything. What they're doing is they're trying to send me hidden messages about street names. Why are they trying to send me hidden messages and references about street names? Well, the reasoning, and a lot of other things, by the way. The reasoning is, if you keep sending someone hidden messages and they pick up on it, they go, something's wrong, and then they turn it around and make up lies. That guy's crazy and suffers from schizophrenia, also known as gaslighting, and in mass groups, gang stalking. That is why. That is why they're using all the signs and the people's names. Victoria Walker hinting about Dr. Walker from Calabasas High, and things like this, is because they're trying to flip me out and make me look crazy with the government. And they go, he's a violent, paranoid schizo, and he's a crazy man, and we need to remove him from society. That is why. Hence the Chase Street, the SHOEnborn Street. Okay, so now you're asking, and it looked like an area like this, but this is not the exact location. I'm sort of simulating the way I would get to the exact location on Chase Street, but Chase Street goes down a fairly long way. Okay, so Chase Street, they buy a house. All my brother's friends move in it. They're working all angles. They're pissing and shitting, supposedly, in my father's girlfriend's car. Alexander, Paul Humphry, then my friend, not my brother's friend, tells me that he pisses and shits in it, in her convertible LeBaron, which she parks on the street with the top down. Why, I don't know. I can't tell you if they really pissed and shit in her car, but what I can tell you is they said they didn't like her, and they tried to get me to peer pressure me into their activities, if that makes sense. So So when they could not successfully set me up, they got angrier and angrier. So one of the things they did, and this was a long time ago, they went out. I had a waterbed, and waterbeds were big in the, what was that, 80s? Okay, so I had a waterbed, and then they went out and they bought a waterbed. Now, I get a phone call from my brother on the phone. Hey, Kevin, we're at a movie. How long does it take to fill up a waterbed? And I say, well, it takes like an hour, I think. And he then goes, oh shit, gotta go. And then they go home, and the entire waterbed is popped, and they flooded the entire house and destroyed like the entire house, right? I don't know if they had to move out or not or anything, but they pretty much destroyed all the flooring and all that, right? So I can remember helping them dry sump or whatever all the water out of the house and this and that later on, right? The entire house was flooded. Okay, so now you're saying, well, so what? Who cares? Aside from having porn stars sit next to me in first class on airplanes, like Chasey Lane, then claiming I somehow did something to her because I got off the plane behind her because she sat across from me. How can you not get off the plane behind her? And she does a quick turnaround as if I've done something to her to try to make it look like I'm doing something to her in these frame jobs. Once again, the Chasey and chasing and lanes. My brother's reckless driving and pinning it on me, all the people launching vehicles at me, trying to set me up, whatever. I don't want to go off on a tangent, but there's all sorts of related psychological warfare and reference messages sent at me while people are trying to set me up and frame me, just trying to make me look crazy and out of control based on chasing and lanes and people saying weird things with subtweets about you either chase a woman or they chase you, all directed at me, but they don't really make any sense, right? You're watching these people blurt out all this weird disinformation, but you don't know what the hell's really going on because you don't know these people and why each and every one of them worldwide wants you dead, which is very strange. Okay, so now at 47, with the endless death threats, knowing what my brother was doing, knowing the amount of people that were involved in hunting me down, knowing the amount of people at 16 told to launch vehicles at me, knowing these schizo tactics with the taking me to Kevin's Burgers. My name's Kevin, obviously. Kevin's Burgers. After I start building cars and going to the street races on Mason, trying to make me look like a violent, out of control, reckless, paranoid schizo. All these things. Well, my brother's friend's house on Chase Street, when they popped the waterbed, they popped it intentionally. Now, why did they pop it intentionally? Well, it turns out with all the other things from all my other brother's conversations and the things he's involved in, he popped it to send me a hidden message like a death threat, like we're going to pop your bladder. The same thing, we're going to break you, we're going to pop your bladder, we're going to give you mental breakdowns. Remember that around 16, after stopping Gregoire from bashing, or stopping my brother from bashing Gregoire's head in with a crowbar, my brother tells me that he and his friends put a teacher in a mental institution, and then they continue on me that we're listening to everything you do on the radio. Now we're going to see a big radio tower on LAPD Topanga Division. Okay, so we're listening to everything you do on the radio, and we have a bug in your room, sending Mike Huntley and Paul Humphry after me to have me killed, both with Volkswagen bugs. And they worked on me for 25 years. Now, after this, after my brother goes to college, he goes to med school, and guess what? He becomes a urologist. Okay, so think about this. My brother has a medical degree in urology, and he has a secondary psychology degree like my father. Well, what's going on here? He's using urology to try to pop my bladder, terrorize, torture, pop my bladder, cause insane amounts of stress levels, cause physical problems, cause mental problems, hinting about penises and dicks and popping bladders. And then he has a psychology degree, kind of like Hannibal Lecter, which he uses to hunt down, kill people, or lock them away in jail cells and mental institutions. Okay, so my point is that my brother's degrees, just like my father and my mother, are all used as weapons to kill. Okay, that's my point. And the LAPD are helping them from the way they word things, right? Okay, so the entire reasoning they popped the waterbed was to send me a message, we're going to pop your bladder, and then the verbal threats that he's going to put me in a mental institution with his friends, which is still going on with worldwide support today. As I mentioned before that, the planting the Kershaw knife on me, giving me the Kershaw knife for no reason and trying to flip me out on a cruise to say that I tried to kill him or went after him, while people go, Kevin, why do you have a knife, whatever. Leaving the part out that he's setting me up. Okay, now we can, through common sense, figure out that at that point he probably told everyone that I lied to him on the phone, giving him the wrong answer and disinformation about the length of time it takes to fill up a waterbed, because his behaviors for 47 years have been consistent to have me killed. Okay, so they intentionally popped the waterbed. My family's probably running around saying as cover-ups that I destroyed a house or something, just like my father's running around saying I'm trying to sabotage all of his relationships with women, and my brother's making up lies that I'm sabotaging his relationships, like Jen Yang, to try to cover up the fact that he went after Greg Wall with a crowbar to bash his skull in, because Jen ended up cheating on my brother with Greg when my brother went off to college. Right? So that's pretty much Chase Street. Let me see if there's anything I'm forgetting here. Okay, to sum things up, my brother and friends go on Chase Street. They're supposedly terrorizing my father's girlfriends. They're trying to pin it on me. They're trying to get me to help. They're sending me hidden messages about chasing women, chasing cars, whatever. They're popping waterbeds as death threats. He's going to pop my bladder with his urology degree. I'm sure there was a lot more going on. All these things covered up. All these things probably pinned on me. And there's a reason why there's a worldwide campaign to kill me in anger and rage. It's not because I'm imagining it. So now we're going to go to SHOEnborn Street, LAPD, Topanga Division. Opened up in 2009, 9 years after me finding out the police and government were sent after me with Mike Huntley, Paul Humphry, my brother, my family since 5 years old, to have me killed, all in cover-up operations, to have me killed, to silence the truth and stop it from ever coming out. So I'm now out here on SHOEnborn Street, and a little bit down that way is where I just was at Topanga Canyon and SHOEnborn Street. And now we're at Canoga and SHOEnborn. Remember Kelly Hatch. Kelly Hatch sent after me to migrate me with her white Jeep Cherokee, working with Tom Farley since 5 years old. We are now here at Topanga Division Police Department, built in 2000 or opened up in 2009 to ramp up their insane amounts of worldwide resources to have me killed since 5 years old that they're trying to silence me over. You just saw the radio tower used for dispatch. That's obviously a dispatching tower. At least that's my thoughts on that. What else could it be? And so all dispatching throughout the entire valley or local area probably goes through those towers and the people inside that building. Do you understand? So if anything's done to me, it goes through dispatch. I call them. It's go through dispatch. They say, don't help Kevin Perlman. We're all going to hunt him and kill him. Another thing you might want to sort of think about is one of the people they sent after me to have me killed, Mike Huntley, originally my brother's friend, wanted me to go out with him on his midnight auto shopping to steal K40 CV antennas, cheesy little $20 antennas anyways. But the point is that Mike Huntley at 29 saying he's given me enough rope to hang myself with is a murderer who's involved in murder operations of trying to plant knives on me when I was a young child with my brother to set me up and frame me on cruises, or actually did give me the knife, so technically he did plant the knife on me with ulterior motives. You get the idea. And when I say knife, we're talking a little pocket knife. We're not talking like a frickin' machete, right? Okay, so the point is they're trying to establish a pattern that Kevin's the next possible murderer and serial killer, and bad seed, actually one of my mother's delusions after watching the movie 1946 Bad Seed and working with Kelly Hatch to show me the movie The Bad Seed, that I'm a horrible murdering child that needs to be hunted and killed based on my family's delusions and paranoid psychotic murdering behaviors with their psychology degree. Okay, so here we are at our phallus, our, what's that movie called? Jesus. Oh, our little Da Vinci Code Jesus phallus police station. We have radio towers for dispatching. I mean, what else could it be? This is the Topanga police station, 2009, built for the sole purpose to thug me quiet, torture, hunt, kill, rile the masses to end my life. Here's a person with a similar black Mustang my father gave me, except mine was a convertible, parking. Two groups of people parking behind my truck, which is interesting. So if you're going to think of, as far as the hidden references sent at the hidden references to try to turn me into a violent paranoid schizo or make me look that way, the first thing you want to notice is the tower. And Mike Huntley stealing K40 antennas, telling me I should go out midnight auto shopping, and telling me weird things at 29, that he's going to hunt me and kill me with the police, and weird things about honesty amongst thieves, and weird things that he was babbling. Yet this guy was involved in every crime known to man with the police. They were telling my brother and friends to go out and do road rage things. They were telling my brother to pop water beds and destroy houses. They were having my brother go out sabotaging all my family's relationships, my father's relationships, and saying I did it. My brother was going out doing road rage things with the police, saying I did it. You name it. My brother trying to bash Gregoire's head in with a crowbar at me stopping him, saving Greg's life, and they're mad at me. Okay, well, why are they mad at me for stopping my brother from bashing Gregoire's head in with a crowbar? Because my brother moved to Colorado, and Jen Yang broke up with him, going, I don't want a long-distance relationship, so I'm going to hang out with Kevin's friend Greg, except my brother told me with Greg Greg, or yeah, in front of Jen or something with Greg. Greg's a good guy, so Jen can hang out with him. My brother actually said that. They went after Greg with a crowbar to bash his skull in. Did I stop my brother? And Mike Huntley doesn't want me, originally my brother's friend, doesn't want me talking about these things. Do you understand that Mike Huntley sent after me at 14 and at 29 is coming after me 25 years later because I... Okay, so I better make sure my hat's straight. Don't want Dincy hunting me down to kill me over crooked hat crimes. Okay, so this is going to be a little strange. I'm back here at Topanga Division. It's the next day. You've just seen driving here how many more cars have shown up with the mental illness tactics in the local area, especially right down the block, a few blocks around here, showing that after I go places, mass groups show up afterwards for years working these mental illness tactics in case to stop me from ever going back again, and this is applied to everywhere on the planet. Okay, so this obviously isn't scripted out, so it's going to be a little awkward trying to remember what I was talking about yesterday and filling in the blanks of the gaps of where the sound cut out because my microphone seemed to have gone bad. I think the cable went bad or something, but you can see on the other video the cable crapping out. Okay, so we are back kind of where the audio starts to crap out. We are by the antenna here, the radio tower antenna dispatch thing, whatever, their little alert the world to make Kevin look crazy references with my brothers. We have a bug in your room and we're listening to everything you do on the radio, and my brother's big thing with Roger Waters, radio chaos, and my brother's thing about making people, especially me, paranoid, to say, hey, everyone's watching you and everyone's listening to you, or try to make you think that so that they can so he, with my family, can lock me in a jail cell or mental institution for the things I was finding out he is involved in. What is it? What is that? Things like trying to bash my friend's skull in with a crowbar, which goes younger and younger, all the way down to a young child. My brother kept flicking. My brother would show me movies, keep flicking me in the back of the ear, hinting about flicks, and then trying to send me hidden messages with movies with my father as well. And he's trying to turn me into or make me look like a violent paranoid schizo. I link back to 5 years old with the movie Wizards with Ralph Bakshi. Okay, so 21501 here in our little phallus Da Vinci Code building. And I believe I was talking about Mike Huntley, my mother and father, wanting me to move back from University of Colorado for some strange reason, 2 classes prior to graduating, but putting on all the peer pressure to get me back to California. Okay, also side note, there are no cars for some strange reason parked right here, and there's always cars parked right here. Where my audio crapped out and I'm coming back to do it again. Okay, so Mike Huntley, originally my brother's friend, realized that I was starting to find things out, or let me rephrase that. He thought I knew what was going on because I was telling people like Daryl Oon about my father putting on a shock collar on his dog Rhoda, and I can't tell you if they thought I knew what was going on or they realized that the more I talked to people about my life, the more people would realize that I'm not the person my family is spewing to the planet. So they needed to get me back from University of Colorado to California, close to the predators, close to my family. And to give you an example, the mobster thought process of keep your friends close, keep your enemies closer, seems to be my family and friends' motto. Okay, so Mike Huntley calls, wants to start an internet host providing company, Signity Services. I move back and I start the company with him. In between, doing some jobs with Brian Longbotham, Universal Studios, Modern Video Film, visual effects at a Thousand Oaks firm, all tied in and involved in working on me. Violating your privacy to try to make it look like you hear voices and things like that, or suffer from visual. Now, we also have a new person honking twice, like you saw over on the other side of SHOEnborn Street. So the point is, don't want to go on a tangent. Before this, Mike Huntley calling me up, hey, I want to start a company with you if you move back. My father calling me up, if you move back, you can stay in my house for a year. And my mother giving me all these ideas about how to finish the 2 courses here at Pierce College and transfer the credits and this and that. While those don't sound too strange on the surface, my father wanted me to move back in his house to do all sorts of frame job and set up operations. At the exact same time, he was marrying a Cuban named Janet Nordet to try to make it look like I was trying to make her paranoid and trying to make it look like flip her out. Like, it was trying to make it look like I was gaslighting her, so to speak, to cover up all the things he was doing. So while I was in the house, all the things that he was pinning on Janet, and she was getting crazier and crazier, he was also doing to me as well, and the things that his office was doing to me, or let me rephrase that, the things that his office was doing to Janet with people paid off like Lorena Escobar, who hunt down and kill people, Fernanda Simi, Alita, the entire Elsie Sandoval, the entire office all working together. What they were really doing was, let me give you an example. My father claims that Janet Nordet did all these horrible things, and then he claims that she tried to kill him. He claims with his office employees that she kept barging in the office, doing all these things, and they kept calling the cops on Janet. Well, then, after I find out Mike Huntley threatens my life, that he's going to kill me with the police, several years later, my father hires me to work at his company, and I notice that the very people who are making these claims about Janet Nordet are doing the same types of things, almost identical template to me. So, thing after thing. I've threatened Marlene. I'm stalking Marlene Ramirez. I'm stalking Lorena Escobar. I took Lorena Escobar's photo without her permission, except she called me up and said, Kevin, will you do a studio photo shoot with me? And she came over to my house on my green screen in front of strobes. You name it, working directly with Topanga Division here, Sean Dinsey, many others, Jensen, many others, since a young age, but I'm talking about 26 right now. And I learned very quickly that Janet Nordet, who supposedly went to jail for 3 years for supposedly trying to kill my father, or conspiracy to ask Mario, her son, friend, supposedly to kill my father. She went to jail for 3 years. I learned very quickly that Janet seems to be the good person who simply met my father and was doomed, because when you're around my family, that's what happens. Okay, you might be the best person in the world. Anyways, my point is that I believe that my father is working the same, well, I know my father is working the same setup and frame job tactics, not just that one incident of trying to get me to move in, or getting me to move in with him for a year while saying I'm doing all these horrible things to Janet, to cover that up. He's also doing them to me to get me out of the picture, if that makes sense. Okay, but more importantly, he's getting help from the LAPD, and throughout the entire time, me working in his office for 14 years and being hunted, tortured, to be killed, with setups, frame jobs, endlessly on a daily basis since the first moment I worked at his office at Golden State Sports Medical. They were working, especially with Fernanda Simi, directly with Topanga Division here, and Fernanda was constantly on the internet communicating out to LAPD. And when I got fired in the end, even though a million things were going on and my father was trying to cover it all up, one of the things on the firewall logs was Fernanda constantly contacting the LAPD while hunting me down with these groups of people, if you get the idea. Okay, so my point is that my father wanted to reel me in from Colorado back to California with an agenda and motive to cover up his mass crime spree since childhood, and he was realizing that when I talked to people, it would disprove his lies, if that makes sense, and it would show his true colors, hence having to try to make me look crazy, hence why I have so many death threats on video. You don't talk or we kill you, you're a snitch, you're dead, things like this, right? Okay, so around maybe 25, 26, the Topanga Division LAPD here with Mike Huntley, as we started Signet e-Services with Mike Huntley, who wanted me to move back from Colorado so bad. Mike Huntley wanted me to join the gym, which I'd been working out at gyms on and off my entire life, but he wanted to get into working out so that he could introduce me to Rody Morales at the Gold's Gym or World's Gym by my house on Burbank and DeSoto, where he wanted me to meet Rody Morales so bad that Rody Morales I was friends with for several years, taking me to strip clubs, and trying to set me up or frame me to make it look like I was stalking strippers, also working with Victoria Walker, Brian Longbotham, and endless others in this huge mass conspiracy. The fourth person from the age 20 to 30, like Eric Christensen at 21, Val Morozov, Eric Christensen in Southern Oregon State College, Val Morozov in Val Morozov in University of Colorado, and Eric Christensen at Southern Oregon State College. Tom Farley wanting me to go to Foreplay, and Rody Morales wanting me to pretty much go to every strip club and make it look like I'm hunting down and stalking all sorts of people, all of them working together with tons of frame jobs while they're tracking my internet usage, which has been still going on for 30 years straight, or since 1994, to try to get anything to use against me. While working on these elaborate operations. Example, Rody Morales and Jen Hess both called me up on the phone asking me, Kevin, will you check my email for me, my Hotmail, and will you log into it for me? Here's the password, so that they could frame me with the police who they were working with to make it look like I'm hacking into people's email accounts. That's just one of these thousands and thousands and thousands of 40-year operations. Hence, finding out years later that Rody Morales was directly linked, as he was introduced to me to sign up to the gym, as he befriended me, to operations with the LAPD here to catch someone who has a double life and has killed someone and is on the run, right? Well, that's very interesting that the LAPD is telling everyone worldwide that I've killed someone. That's very strange. So Rudy Morales linked to LAPD here, except this division did not exist when I was 26. That was around 1999 or something. But you get the idea that these are federal and worldwide operations. Okay, so here we are. We're at SHOEnborn. And we are at Topanga. Okay, so what is the dynamics between telling someone me and my friends put a teacher in a mental institution, and then jump to me and my friends have a bug in your room, and we're listening to everything you do on the radio, right? Well, at the time I thought my brother was just babbling weird things, and being an idiot that he was, while I sort of hit people at random on license plate frames. But it turns out that he actually is with worldwide groups, the police, the government, NSA, FBI, teachers in high school like Mr. Quigley told to tell me to punch students, which didn't work. Told me to punch Paul Schaefer, which didn't work, a kind of bully kid, because they wanted to make it look like I'm a violent paranoid schizo who just hits people and things like that for no reason. And my entire existence has been trying to get me to go ballistic on people and pummel them and things like that, which they've always failed. Okay, so remember, when I tell him I'm not going to help him spy on Greg Waugh and support him with bashing people's skulls in, he gives me the blood is thicker than water, mobster speech, and then it goes to how he makes people mentally ill, and then the dynamics of we're now trying to make Kevin mentally ill, because if you're wondering if a bug's in your room, that's the intent to create paranoia. That's the intent to get reactions. That's the intent to make someone crazy. Now, why is my brother, all of his friends, all of my friends, my own father, telling him with the police to do these things since 5 years old? Well, that's the strange part. But I can go through detail after detail of weird, freaky events, of things that they don't want me talking about. Hence, you understand why things are getting worse and worse for me the more I find out things, and the more people show up, you don't talk or we kill you, and things like that with my family. What my father was doing, telling my brother to hunt me down and have me killed or eradicated, starting at 5 years old, right? The guy that put shock collars on dogs. Okay, so anyways, here we are. Yesterday, I'm going to try to piece this together. Yesterday, as I was coming back this direction, girl, I believe in a black car, comes out with a kid to try to provoke me into a situation, and then as I'm walking past her towards my car over here, pretty much parked in the same spot, another person is coming out of the police department here, and she's holding a kid, and they're patterns of twos. Okay, so now, whatever, we have our radio antenna here, which all dispatch calls anytime someone attacks me, probably goes right through here, and they probably figure out ways to stop the truth from coming out. And this is the location. And this is the location where the lady parked her car with the kid and hoped she could sort of provoke me in front of the police. And then as I walk to my car here, the second lady comes out in hopes that she can provoke me, because if you keep doing things like that and you know what's going on, it's going to upset you and you want them to stop, right? Okay, so, and that's the point. If they refuse to stop with the death threats, you better learn to accept what's going on, or it's going to get a lot worse for you. You can kind of, through common sense of a 10-year-old, understand what is going on. We're going to hunt you down and eradicate you with the psychology community and psychological labels for no crime at all. And then you find out, and then it gets really bad because they know you know, and they can't do the job cleanly, if that makes sense. Okay, also there were 2 black Civics right here yesterday together, showing the other patterns of 2s, and I believe down the street from me right now there's 2 people with white shirts and black pants on together. I can't tell you if that's intentional or not, but the black and white, all black pants and a all white shirt is one of the pattern tactics where groups of people show up together in mass groups trying to provoke me, to get me to go off on people. And even an hour earlier today, picking up a package at the UPS store that they didn't want to deliver intentionally, which was supposed to be delivered through Amazon Prime, and they went straight to UPS, and then they never even made a delivery attempt with little cryptic numbers about 26. I went to go pick up the package, and 2 girls were sitting next door, separate, not with each other, watching me in black and white, just like this, at the supermarket, watching me pick up the package. And it gets deeper because that they are next door on the other side to the vet that I took my cat years ago when she seemed sick or something like that. Whatever, right? So all these things are related and interconnected, believe it or not. And most people would say, well, that's crazy. But the situation itself is crazy. It's just those involved, which is probably at this point a good 4 billion, don't want me talking. And those that don't know think it's crazy. But the situation in general is crazy. The LAPD, you can see, is heavily involved in these schizophrenia reference messages to try to make me look like a violent paranoid schizo. They flat out said directly to my face on occasions, I'm 5150 or I'm a violent paranoid schizo, when they damn well knew what was going on, and I had tried to bring in hard drives of evidence way before that, and I believe that statement that I was a violent paranoid schizo was a call. I called them to come out because someone put a rat's tail on my welcome mat. Okay? But because they didn't want to write police reports of a rat tail, or actually I think it was a lizard's tail, but it was strategically put as a threat on my welcome mat, and you get the idea, right? They didn't want to come out and do their job when it comes to Kevin Perlman because they're accessories to murder when I was starting at 5 years old, and I can talk about those intricacies growing up. Now, just to elaborate on things that really don't matter, lizard's tails, I believe, do fall off and this and that, but with the amount of things put on my mat and things dropped around my house for hidden messages and the amount of death threats on video, it was clearly intentionally, and it was right after the Terrence Scroggins arrest, who was contacted by lead officer Sean Dinsey to break every law and hunt me down and threaten me and then say I threatened him and things like that. When I told him he had better leave me alone, that's when I supposedly threatened his life, saying, get the fuck away from me, I'm trying to take a walk. And this guy, I don't want to get into the entire background, but this guy was told to keep running up and provoking me 100 million times and following me from place to place and threatening me, and then crying wolf and playing victim like everyone else. But the point is that after those arrests and me showing proof of all the things going on, that's when the lizard's tail or whatever was put on my welcome mat to scare me and thug me quiet. And then after getting out of maximum security prison for misdemeanors, which doesn't make any sense other than to try to intimidate me quiet, that's when the on video death threats, you're a snitch, you're dead, which I have endless similar things like that. But all these people, the guy that said you're a snitch, you're dead, had a police trained canine, and the entire attack before the death threats of him attacking me with his dog before the trial, showing that they were hunting me. The Topanga division here, with video footage of me being attacked by a dog and a person, unleashing a police trained canine on me, although I'm not supposed to know it's a police trained canine. Detective Shapiro, Detective Angela Stewart, many other detectives, all saw the video. I gave it to them, and they say nothing happened on the video. But of course the video is for the world to see on my website, because if the police refuse to stop the people trying to kill me since 5 years old, the police are aiding and abetting and are accessories to murder. So I think that's it, to try to fix what I left out, and I think I added more than what I originally had. Not only have these murder operations been strategic since 5 years old, with their excuse that maybe I breastfed wrong or breathed fire with red eyes at 5 years old. Okay, so here, just to point things out, we have a black Civic next to another black Civic in their psychological warfare and twos tactics. So you just saw two people with kids arrive, follow me here, and then one lady honk her horn twice. One lady honk her horn twice, so two women with children. One lady honk her horn twice. Just as you saw an hour ago, another person honked their horn twice, with the police telling them to do these psychological murder operations with the psychology community. And now, right here, we have a black Civic and another black Civic, and all the video I have in front of the police station and many other police stations have these things happening directed at me all day and night. With mass anger and rage from mass worldwide groups to have me killed, because when I turned 29 I found out I was being hunted by the police and government since 5 years old to have me killed. And I have endless video footage, you don't talk or we kill you, right? Showing that they're heavily involved in murder operations across 47 years to have me killed, investing every resource known to man worldwide. And that's pretty much it. So, once again, while this isn't the most complex video, I'm not going into a super amount of detail. I'm not going into a super amount of detail. I just sort of want to go down. They're on SHOEnborn Street. I have tons of video of groups of Jeep Cherokees here hinting about Kelly Hatch. We have all the hidden messages linked to Kelly Hatch. We have Kelly Hatch, the shoes. The big thing are the shoes, that they are trying to make it look like I did something because they don't like me having the same shoes, or they don't like similarities in life or imperfection with Sean Dincey's eradication of imperfection. And so all linking back to childhood, because you're not perfect, we're going to kill you, which link into psychotic murdering families, paying off the police and things like this. But these shoes linked to Kelly Hatch, sent after me to follow me up from Calabasas High to Southern Oregon State College to hunt me down and kill me. And then when I moved to Colorado, they send people after me in Colorado to kill me. And then they reel me in back while my father is ramping up his attacks with the rest of my family, while my father's putting bullet holes with the LAPD in his car when I'm 16, saying I did it and things like this. And so my point is that all these events that are going on are all linked and connected to the LAPD, what they've done to my life. Not just the LAPD, the police, government, LAPD, police worldwide, NSA, FBI, and they've reeled in worldwide civilian support to have me killed for simply turning 29 and going, what's going on? That's it. And now they're playing this game like, oh, you're a crazy madman and this and that, because they don't want me talking about the endless crime spree that they've done to me since 5 years old to have me killed. And so you get the idea. They don't want that truth coming out, and they will do whatever it takes with billions of dollars to try to make me look crazy, including this development right here, which was actually developed with clear and obvious intent to try to flip me out, get reactions, get me to go after police officers, you name it, because one of their lies in the courtrooms after falsifying all these charges is that I have a personal vendetta with the police. Well, it took me up until 30, maybe 40 years old to even understand that this was a police operation, right? And I found out at 29. So I didn't really understand where the orders were coming from until maybe 38. But my point is that how do you come up with the theory Kevin has a personal vendetta against the police when the police have had a worldwide campaign to hunt him and kill him starting at 5, and he has endless video and proof of this? And then the police go, you're coming after us. Well, how am I coming after 100 billion police officers and whatever, 7 billion citizens, right? Now their latest excuse or cover-up lies is that according to Sean Dinsey and my lawyer Seymour Amster, that Sean Dinsey is now saying that I threatened to kill all Starbucks customers, right? That is what he is saying. Not only this, not only is he's saying that I threatened to kill all Starbucks customers, but he's also saying they sent Victoria Walker after me, claiming I'm like the Unabomber for being a really nice, open-minded, giving person. And they're also, Dinsey's also claiming before that I'm like the next Vegas shooter, and I might have a gun on me. And they staged an operation at 29 with Victoria Walker, where my father paid off the LAPD and Victoria Walker. My father paid off Victoria Walker to be my friend for about 20 years, just like all these other people, who gave me a toy gun in front of my father. A toy, which my father damn well knew it was a toy, in front of him. And my father went around saying I'm a violent, paranoid schizo with a gun to justify the police trying to break in my house and plant drugs on me and things like this. Well, that doesn't make sense, because whether I'm crazy or not, the Second Amendment says you have the right to bear arms, and the term crazy is relative to who you are. I mean, some girl that likes sex might be called crazy, right? Okay, so there's no relevance to the word crazy, there's just actions. I'm going to make my child look crazy and hunt him down and kill him and eradicate him. Well, you need to understand what the real reasoning is. Now remember, my father put shock collars on his dog Rhoda. He locked Maggie, the other dog, in a cage for most of its life when it had an entire backyard to run around in. Okay? That is the type of family I come from, and a family of murderers that pay off the police to have their son killed since 5 years old is what we're talking about here. And so that, I think, is all I really have about the police station on SHOEnborn. I mean, trust me, I have a lot more information, but to keep it simple, pertaining to this one incident, or the reasoning this building was built in 2009 on SHOEnborn Street, connected with Paul Humphry, all the illegal operations, connected with Kelly Hatch, all the illegal operations, sending her to follow me up from Calabasas High to Oregon to hunt me down and have me killed with the police, and the hundreds of thousands of other things just like that, which I don't have the time or energy to talk about all in one shot. You get the idea that what's going on here is a mass conspiracy and cover-up on operations they do not want coming to light. And once you start breaking the situation down to what it really is, well, these are government flagging kill operations done to people in their early childhood. Does that make sense? I was 5 years old when they flagged me. I was 5 years old when my father started in on me and my family with the psychological warfare and mental illness tactics. And it has escalated like a wildfire Since then, no matter how nice, giving, caring, perfect I am, they will say and do anything to cover up their true and real agenda, which really doesn't even make any sense. Turning 29 with Mike Huntley's death threats, you're a dead man and we're going to kill you with the police, for no reason at all, other than at 10 years old you might have stole a 1-cent Jolly Rancher, so we have a worldwide campaign to kill you, and because you found out you're the next Unabomber. Right? Do you understand? It's not really about anything but being marked by the government and flagged to be targeted and killed. And not only do they want to accomplish this agenda more so now, because of what I know and found out at 29 was going on, they don't want the truth coming out, and they thought they could get away with it stealthily, without any resistance, without any truth coming out. Okay, so I will leave this segment at that, and I will leave this segment at that, and if I can remember the exact Chase Street location, I will amend it to the video, but it's difficult to get any free time in between that. So you get the idea. And that's it for now. Remember, what you're hearing is beyond, not even close to the tip of the iceberg. Just remember that. Okay, so I just want to video. I'm now back at the location on my first segment. There's a white Explorer here, which was here before, and there's a white Explorer across. I wasn't paying attention to the cars. This is where the first person honked the horn twice, which we just saw down the street at SHOEnborn Police Station. Also, up here, oh, I don't want to walk all the way up. There was the same blue GMC that's my car, and also 2 pickup trucks together. So maybe I will. So, oh no, it's way down there. So what you're seeing here, like usual, is I come out here and I video my life, and people start pulling out cars in patterns of 2s. The white Explorer here, the white Explorer here. Just like down at the police station, the 2 black Civics, the 2 women that showed up with children in black cars. Think of the manpower and resources they're using to have me killed since 5 years old. Okay, these are all complete strangers. I don't know any of these people. So this is, I found out these things were going on at 29, met with, he and the police are going to have me killed. Okay, that's when I started noticing the psychological gang stalking with these police kill operations. And then I looked through my life and realized that these kill operations actually started at 5 years old. So while they haven't ramped up their attacks significantly in both areas, you can still see the pairs of 2s in small numbers, which are now ramping down, but it fluctuates, but you can see what's going on a much smaller scale. The other way where I was earlier, here's the 2 white Explorers. Now this is where I was videoing earlier, so they have, I think, pulled up cars at a higher rate in 2s after I left. So I sort of want to show you. Okay, there's, I think, a red Explorer here. As I'm walking back by the location right here that I was videoing, this is my identical car. Not my car, but the same one. And then two white pickups in front together in twos that they have pulled out after videoing. Okay, so we're making our way back towards our car. Oh, the LA police station, LAPD is up here. Topanga Division. There's a black Camry here and a black Camry over there. We're making our way back. So now you're seeing groups of cars in twos by the police station. So now we're making our way back to where I'm parked in front of Topanga Division. And I'll keep videoing in case they come out, if that makes any sense. And most likely they will be trying to set me up. They've just, by the way, suspended my Twitter account right at my arrival to the police station and videoing myself talking about the situation, to put things in perspective of the amount of resources they are using to try to hunt me down, kill me, silence me for hunting me at 5 years old to have me killed. Believe it or not, people working with them at Twitter suspending my account for videoing myself talking about my life in front of the police station. You get the idea. You don't have the First Amendment freedoms of speech to tell anyone we're going to hunt you down and kill you since 5 years old. If you want to understand the simplified argument, which sounds crazy on the surface, but is the actual facts. Here you can kind of see the twos all backwards, almost all backwards, and twos and reds. This is across from the police station. Okay, so as I get back to my car right here, you will see another white GMC, very similar to mine, back there behind mine, right? Showing the amount of ramp up, just like my other videos, of me coming out and videoing about my life and the horrible things, horrible, unbelievable things being done in my life. They don't want me talking about it any way, shape, or form. That they launched 40-year murder operations to have me killed, and so that is what you are seeing, is that we're allowed to find a kid, have a kid, hunt him down with every resource on the planet to kill him, and he better not ever tell anyone. Okay, so I'm still videoing as I'm leaving because, like, for example, we got a guy here pulling in front of me. We got a guy with hazards on. Why are his hazards on? Well, that's one of the common tactics in mass groups to try to trigger me or provoke me, which seems normal on the surface, but the way it's done in groups are provoking tactics. He turned it off. And so that's pretty much it over here. Okay, so I'm going back to the Topanga Division LAPD police station because some of my audio got screwed up doing a video, talking into the video camera yesterday, doing my little video about the Topanga Division LAPD. Okay, now we have a black and white pickup here. across from another black pickup next to another black pickup. And another black pickup on this side over here. And this wasn't like this yesterday. So I'm going back to finish some audio that got screwed up. And like usual, I'm documenting the local area because LAPD, the judicial system, all courthouses, all police officers worldwide, which this is worldwide, are saying that I'm imagining this no matter how much video and proof I shove in front of them, and then they're saying that people are allowed to get together and kill me if they don't physically touch me. Showing that they're aiding and abetting and a mass murder and are accessories to murder. But more importantly, the point I'm making is that if I video what's going on at the courthouses and police stations, then there is no argument that they can't know what's going on unless they're like a complete moronic retard. Okay, so here is two white Jeep Cherokees together. We're not even in front of the police station. We're on Owens Mouth and Chase Street. Remember, Chase Street. Okay, so my point is, how can you walk into your office every day seeing several hundred people with identical cars and twos and clothing colors that whistle at Kevin Perlman and mimic his conversations 100,000 times a day and not know what's going on is completely impossible, especially every single one of them. Okay, we have a person actually waiting in a black Jeep Cherokee over here with an army clothing as well, right? Okay, so my point is, here's a gray Eclipse. I have a black Eclipse, that car. Fairly rare car. Red pickup as well. Okay, so we have about 6 pickups here. Now we're gonna drive closer. We're going on SHOEnborn Street, and we're going to drive closer to the police station where I'm gonna finish my video. 3 pickups together right here, 2 whites and a black, 2 across on the other side. A green and a white. Another pickup here, another pickup here. Remember, yesterday there was not one pickup truck here, not one. I can't tell you if these 2 vans together are work vans. There's a 3rd yellow van. This person in the white Jeep lives here, but I have other video of me showing up reporting something done to me, and a second black one parking behind him as I called it out before it even happened. And this is the area I'm gonna redo the video, but let's just do one more loop around to make sure we didn't miss anything, because what I was saying yesterday on video was that after I go to a public place, they then ramp up their attacks afterwards in case I ever go back, if that makes sense. Let's say I go to a coffee shop. People show up trying to make me mentally ill. Then, each and every day after that for years, they'll go to the same coffee shop in groups of people, in case I ever go back to the coffee shop. And this will happen at every coffee shop, restaurant, bank, supermarket, you name it, in the world, until I'm dead and gone, or they can get a reaction to try to set me up to eradicate me, no matter what it takes, starting at 5 years old. Now we're heavily backlit, so I don't know if I can get... Let's just kind of document once again. And we'll drive slowly because it's backlit and I can't see very well. We have a blue Altima. We have the gray Altima backwards at the gas station. We all know or remember that the parking backwards is one of the tactics. We have all these vans. This yellow one is not a work van. This is AT&T, and the other one is a work van. Another Worldwide Tech Services van. So there's vans of all different companies together, right? Now up here, this is where all the pickups start. Once again, 2 pickups here together, 3 pickups here together. Another black pickup, 4 or 5 black pickups over there. Remember, yesterday on video, a red pickup there, another red pickup here. Yesterday on video, on that street, there was a few of the patterns, but nothing like today. So we're now veering away because I sort of want to show you what happens even though we're not right in front, it's still within the local area, fading off. There's a second gray Eclipse, which is a very rare car. That I have a black one. And so I'm just kind of veering off further away to show that this isn't just right in front of a building, it's everywhere I could possibly go or be. This is where we were earlier with the 2 white Jeep Cherokees together. And we'll quickly come here and turn around and then finish doing our video that you're gonna say, that's pretty damn strange, right? It's because my family and the police want me to have a good life, and they don't want me to have any mental illness, even though I don't actually suffer from mental illness. They're trying to make me look like a violent paranoid schizo to remove me from society out of some kind of hate and rage. How they reeled the police into this, if the police don't want to admit what's going on. I can't tell you that because I've never heard of a situation where someone walks up to a police officer and says, my son's crazy, hunt him down and kill him, and get worldwide support to help him. And that person sits there asking at 29 when finding out what's going on, what's this about. Well, you're not allowed to know. You know what you did. Your past caught up with you, but I'm not going to tell you what you did. Right? People don't act that way. They don't behave that way unless they're psychotic murderers, like my father, who put shock collars on his dog Rhoda and put Maggie in a cage for half her life when she had an entire backyard to run around in. You get the idea. Oh, who has a secondary psychology degree and is an orthopedic surgeon, born on an Air Force, where I was born on an Air Force base. You get the idea. My father is a psychotic murderer, and that is it. Okay, so there's not a lot here. Although there looks like someone left the car with his lights on. Oh no, they're in the car. One of the tactics is people parking cars and leaving lights on, or waiting in cars directed at me with lights on. That's one of the tactics. That's why I mentioned it. So they'll park in groups with their cars backwards with the lights on, just waiting and watching me at places I might go. I will go or might go. And if they see me, they turn the lights on, letting me know that it's directed at me and things like that. Okay, so we did a quick loop around. Now we're going back to park. Adidas stripes, I was mentioning yesterday, they're starting up again, and I can't tell you if that one girl is doing that intentionally or not, but I'm just kind of noting what could escalate based on their psychological terror patterns that I have documented and how they operate. I kind of call it out, well, this might possibly be, and then you see more and more, and then you know it is, right? Okay, so that's pretty much like example of the gray and blacks. The girl walking right there with the gray and black. The gray and black pants, all black pants and all gray shirts is a huge one of the tactics. So anyways, we got a dog walker there, gray and black. There's just one, so it's hard to really define it and pinpoint it. But if we see like 50 more, right, then you'll know. Okay, so now this is another gray Altima, which I pointed out driving by a few minutes ago, and while this isn't together next to another one, most likely the one parked backwards hinting I'm here for you is associated with this guy, but because they're spread, it's harder to prove, which makes you look more crazy, if that makes sense. Okay, so as I'm leaving, I'm just gonna video the local area. We have all our pickups here. Actually, I wanted to turn around and just get video of the yellow van now who has a flat, which I kind of found a little interesting. Over here we have, looks like two Jeep Cherokees. I think one might be a BMW actually. No, one is a BMW. And then behind me is another Eclipse. Orange Eclipse. I have a black car of that. And so here's all of our pickups together now. And yeah, while some of these could be coincidences, a lot aren't. I don't know why, I just think there's something a little off with this yellow van with the flat tire. Okay, so we have about 6 pickups here. Now we're gonna drive closer. We're going on SHOEnborn Street, and we're going to drive closer to the police station where I'm gonna finish my video. 3 pickups together right here, 2 whites and a black, 2 across on the other side. A green and a white. Another pickup here. Another pickup here. Remember, yesterday there was not one pickup truck here. Not one. I can't tell you if these 2 vans together are work vans. There's a 3rd yellow van. Okay, so what is the dynamics of someone telling you, me and my friend have put someone in a mental institution and we have a bug in your room. Me and my friends put a teacher in a mental institution and we have a bug in your room and we're listening to everything you do. And here is that white... Jesus fucking Christ. And here's that yellow van who has a flat, whatever. Okay, so what is the dynamics between telling someone me and my friends put a teacher in a mental institution, and then jump to me and my friends have a bug in your room, and we're listening to everything you do on the radio, right? Well, at the time I thought my brother was just babbling weird things and being an idiot that he was while putting I swerve and hit people